In a world where wealth often overshadows genuine connection, Amelia, a rich girl tired of superficial relationships, decides to fake poverty to find true love. Little did she know that her daring choice would lead her on an unexpected journey filled with heartache, self-discovery, and a romance that would challenge everything she thought she knew about love. Amelia Sinclair had always lived a life of privilege. Born into one of the wealthiest families in the city, she was accustomed to luxury, designer clothes, lavish parties, and a lifestyle that most could only dream of. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour, Amelia felt an emptiness that no amount of money could fill. As she attended yet another extravagant gala surrounded by the elite, she couldn't shake the feeling of isolation. The conversations were shallow, revolving around brands and status, and she longed for something deeper. Amelia watched as her friends flaunted their wealth, but she felt like an outsider in her own life. One evening, after a particularly exhausting event, Amelia returned home to her opulent mansion. She plopped down on her plush sofa, staring at the crystal chandelier that hung above her. "Is this all there is?" she wondered aloud. "Am I destined to live a life where love is just a transaction?" That night, as she scrolled through social media, she stumbled upon a post from a charity organization that helped underprivileged families. The images of smiling children and heartfelt stories tugged at her heartstrings. In that moment, an idea began to form. A radical plan to escape her gilded cage and find true love. The next day, Amelia made a bold decision. She would fake poverty. She would leave her luxurious life behind and immerse herself in the world of the less fortunate, hoping to find someone who loved her for who she was, not for her wealth. With the help of her best friend Lily, Amelia crafted a new identity. They raided her closet, selecting simple clothes that would help her blend in. Amelia cut her hair to a more modest style and practiced a new backstory. She would be a struggling artist, trying to make ends meet. As she stepped out into the world with her new persona, Amelia felt a rush of excitement mixed with fear. She was determined to find genuine love, but she knew the risk involved. What if someone discovered her secret? What if she fell for someone who wouldn't accept her true self? Amelia began frequenting local coffee shops, art galleries, and community events, immersing herself in the vibrant culture of the city. She met people from all walks of life, each with their own stories and struggles. For the first time, she felt alive, connected to the world around her. One day, while sketching in a park, she caught the eye of a handsome stranger named Ethan. He was an aspiring musician, passionate about his craft, and dedicated to making a difference in the world. They struck up a conversation, and Amelia felt an instant connection. Ethan was everything she had been searching for: kind, genuine, and unpretentious. As they spent more time together, Amelia found herself falling for him. She loved his passion for music and his ability to see beauty in the simplest things. But as their relationship deepened, so did her fear of revealing her true identity. Amelia struggled with the weight of her deception. She wanted to be honest with Ethan, but she feared that revealing her wealth would ruin everything they had built together. She convinced herself that she could keep the secret a little longer, just until she was sure of his feelings. As weeks turned into months, Amelia and Ethan's bond grew stronger. They shared dreams, fears, and laughter, and Amelia felt happier than she had ever been. But the guilt of her deception gnawed at her, and she knew that she couldn't hide forever. One evening, as they sat on a rooftop overlooking the city, Amelia felt the urge to confess. The sunset painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, and she took a deep breath, her heart racing. "Ethan, there's something I need to tell you," she began, her voice trembling. But before she could continue, Ethan interrupted, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "Amelia, I've been thinking about us. I want to take our relationship to the next level. I want to introduce you to my family and share my life with you." Amelia's heart sank. She felt a mix of joy and dread. This was the moment she had been waiting for, but it was also the moment she feared the most. How could she tell him the truth now? Amelia's heart raced as she processed Ethan's words. She wanted to scream, "Yes, I want that too!" But the weight of her secret loomed over her like a dark cloud. "Ethan, she started, but the words caught in her throat. Amelia, I know this is fast, but I feel something special between us, he said, his voice earnest. I want to share my music with you, my family, my life. You mean so much to me. Tears welled in Amelia's eyes. She felt a rush of emotions, love, fear, and guilt all swirling together. I care about you too, Ethan. You have no idea how much, she finally managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan smiled, his eyes shining with hope. Then let's take this leap together. I want you to meet my family this weekend. They'll love you. Amelia's heart sank further. Meeting his family would mean facing the truth about her deception. She had to make a choice, continue the lie or come clean. But the thought of losing Ethan was unbearable. As the weekend approached, Amelia found herself in a whirlwind of emotions. She spent hours preparing for the meeting, trying to convince herself that she could keep her secret a little longer. She chose a simple yet elegant outfit, hoping to blend in with Ethan's family while still looking her best. When the day finally arrived, Amelia felt a mix of excitement and dread. Ethan picked her up, his face beaming with joy. You look beautiful, he exclaimed, and Amelia felt a flutter in her stomach. As they drove to Ethan's family home, Amelia's mind raced with thoughts of how to navigate the situation. What if they asked about her background? What if they saw through her facade? Ethan's family lived in a cozy suburban neighborhood, and as they arrived, Amelia felt her heart pounding. The house was warm and inviting, filled with laughter and the aroma of home-cooked food. Ethan's mother greeted them at the door, her smile wide and welcoming. Amelia, it's so nice to finally meet you, she said, pulling Amelia into a warm embrace. Ethan has told us so much about you. Thank you for having me, Amelia replied, forcing a smile as she stepped inside. The living room was filled with family photos, and she could see the love that radiated from Ethan's family. As the evening progressed, Amelia tried to relax and enjoy the company. They shared stories, laughter, and delicious food, but the weight of her secret felt heavier with each passing moment. Ethan's father, a kind man with a gentle demeanor, asked Amelia about her life. So Amelia, what do you do for a living? He inquired, his eyes filled with curiosity. Amelia hesitated, her mind racing. I'm an artist, she said, recalling her backstory. I do freelance work and sell my pieces at local galleries. Wow, that's impressive, Ethan's mother chimed in. We'd love to see your work sometime. Sure, I'd love to share it with you, Amelia replied, forcing a smile, but inside she felt a pang of guilt. She was living a lie, and it was only a matter of time before the truth came crashing down. As the evening continued, Amelia felt a growing connection with Ethan's family. They were warm, loving, and genuine, and she couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging. But the more she connected with them, the more her guilt intensified. Later that night, as they sat around the fireplace, Ethan took Amelia's hand. I'm so glad you're here. You fit right in with my family, he said, his voice filled with sincerity. Amelia's heart swelled, but the weight of her deception felt unbearable. Ethan, there's something I need to tell you, she said, her voice trembling. But before she could continue, Ethan's sister, Sarah, interrupted. Amelia, can you tell us about your art? I'd love to hear more. Amelia felt a wave of relief wash over her. Sure, I love to paint landscapes and capture the beauty of nature, she said, launching into a passionate description of her work. As she spoke, she saw the admiration in Ethan's eyes, and for a moment, she forgot about her secret. But as the night wore on, the guilt returned, gnawing at her insides. After dinner, Ethan's family gathered for a game night, and Amelia found herself laughing and enjoying their company. But as she watched Ethan interact with his family, she felt a pang of longing. She wanted to be a part of this world, to be accepted for who she truly was, not the facade she had created. As the laughter echoed around her, the weight of her secret felt heavier than ever. Later that evening, as the game night wound down, Ethan pulled Amelia aside. Can we talk for a minute? He asked, his expression serious. Of course, Amelia replied, her heart racing. They stepped outside onto the porch, the cool night air wrapping around them. Amelia, I've been thinking a lot about us, Ethan began, his voice steady. I know we haven't been together long, but I feel a deep connection with you. I want to know everything about you. Amelia's heart raced. This was the moment she had been dreading. Ethan, there's something I need to tell you, she said, her voice trembling. I haven't been completely honest with you. Ethan's brow furrowed with concern. What do you mean? I'm not who you think I am, she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm not just a struggling artist. I come from a wealthy family. I faked poverty to find someone who would love me for me, not for my money. The silence that followed felt deafening. Ethan's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief. You're serious? He asked, his voice low. Yes, Amelia replied, tears brimming in her eyes. I wanted to escape my life of privilege and find someone who would love me for who I am, not for my wealth. I thought if I lived like everyone else, I could find true love. Ethan stepped back, his expression a mix of hurt and anger. So everything was a lie? You deceived me from the start? I didn't mean to hurt you, Amelia pleaded, her heart breaking. I fell for you, Ethan. I didn't want to lose you because of my background. Ethan ran a hand through his hair, clearly struggling to process the revelation. I can't believe this. I thought we had something real. How can I trust you now? Amelia felt a wave of despair wash over her. I understand if you're angry. I should have told you the truth from the beginning. But please, just give me a chance to explain. Ethan shook his head, stepping away from her. I need time to think. I can't just pretend this didn't happen. With that, he turned and walked back inside, leaving Amelia standing alone on the porch, her heart shattered. The next few days were a blur of pain and regret. Amelia felt lost without Ethan. She had finally found someone who saw her for who she was, and now she had jeopardized everything with her deception. She spent her days wandering the city, trying to distract herself from the heartache, but nothing seemed to fill the void. Meanwhile, Ethan was grappling with his feelings. He had been drawn to Amelia's authenticity, her passion for life, and the connection they shared. But the betrayal stung deeply. He felt foolish for falling for her act, and he couldn't shake the feeling of being manipulated. As the days turned into a week, Amelia decided she couldn't let this end without trying to make things right. She reached out to Ethan, asking to meet one last time. To her surprise, he agreed. They met at the park where they had first connected, the place that held so many memories of laughter and love. Amelia's heart raced as she approached him, her palms sweaty with anxiety. Ethan, she began, her voice trembling, thank you for meeting me. He looked at her, his expression guarded. I didn't know if I should come. I'm still trying to process everything. I understand, Amelia replied, her heart aching. But I need you to know that I never meant to deceive you. I was just so desperate to find someone who would love me for me. I thought if I could escape my life for a while, I could find that. Ethan sighed, running a hand through his hair. But you didn't just escape your life. You created a whole new one. You lied to me, Amelia. How can I trust you again? I know I messed up, she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. But I fell in love with you. The person I became while I was with you was real. I want to be that person, not the wealthy girl everyone expects me to be. Ethan's expression softened slightly, but the hurt was still evident in his eyes. It's hard to reconcile the person I thought I knew with the person you've shown me, he said, his voice heavy with emotion. I want to believe you, Amelia, but trust is hard to rebuild once it's broken. Amelia took a deep breath, her heart pounding. I understand. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to earn your trust back. I'll show you who I really am, not just the girl who pretended to be poor. I want to be honest with you about everything. Ethan looked at her, his expression conflicted. What does that mean? How can I know that you won't just slip back into your old life? I'll give up my wealth, Amelia said, surprising even herself. I'll donate my inheritance to charity and start fresh. I want to build a life based on honesty and love, not money. I want to be with you, Ethan, and I'm willing to sacrifice everything to prove it. Ethan's eyes widened in shock. You can't be serious. That's a huge decision. I am serious, she replied, her voice steady. I've realized that true happiness doesn't come from money or status. It comes from genuine connections and love. I want to find that with you. Ethan took a step back, processing her words. This is a lot to take in. I need time to think about it. Amelia nodded, feeling a mix of hope and despair. I understand. Just know that I'm here, ready to prove myself to you. As they parted ways, Amelia felt a flicker of hope. She had laid her heart on the line, and now it was up to Ethan to decide if he could forgive her. In the following weeks, Amelia took action. She met with a financial advisor and began the process of donating her inheritance to various charities that supported underprivileged children and artists. It was a liberating experience, and she felt a sense of purpose as she used her wealth to make a difference in the world. Meanwhile, Ethan was grappling with his feelings. He missed Amelia's laughter, her passion for life, and the connection they had shared. He watched her from a distance as she volunteered at local shelters and art programs, and he couldn't help but admire her determination to change. One day, as he was walking through the park, he spotted Amelia painting a mural on the side of a community center. She was surrounded by children, laughing and encouraging them as they added their own touches to the artwork. The sight tugged at his heartstrings, and he felt a wave of longing wash over him. That evening, Ethan found himself at a local cafe, reflecting on everything that had happened. He realized that while Amelia had made a mistake, she had also shown incredible courage and vulnerability. She was willing to sacrifice her wealth for love, and that spoke volumes about her character. As he sipped his coffee, he made a decision. He would give Amelia another chance. He wanted to see if they could rebuild their relationship on a foundation of honesty and trust. The next day, Ethan approached the community center where Amelia was working. He watched her for a moment, captivated by her passion and the joy she brought to the children. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward. Amelia, he called out, and she turned, her eyes lighting up with surprise. Ethan, you came, she exclaimed, her heart racing. I did, he replied, a smile breaking through his earlier uncertainty. I've been thinking a lot about us, and I want to give this another shot, but we need to be completely honest with each other moving forward. Amelia's heart soared. I promise, Ethan, I'll be completely open with you. I want to build a life together, one that's based on trust and love. Ethan nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over him. Let's take it slow. I want to get to know the real you, and I want you to know the real me. As they began to reconnect, Amelia felt a renewed sense of hope. They spent time together, exploring the city, sharing their dreams, and building a foundation of trust. With each passing day, their bond grew stronger, and Amelia felt more confident in her decision to embrace her true self. Weeks turned into months, and Amelia and Ethan's relationship blossomed. They faced challenges together, but their commitment to honesty and love helped them navigate the ups and downs. Amelia felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before, and she was grateful for the second chance they had been given. One evening, as they strolled through the park, Ethan turned to Amelia, his expression serious. Amelia, I've been thinking about how far we've come, he said, his voice filled with warmth. When we first met, I had no idea that you were hiding such a big part of yourself. But now, I feel like I know you better than anyone. Amelia smiled, her heart swelling with affection. I feel the same way, Ethan. I've never been more honest with anyone in my life. You've helped me discover who I really am. Beyond the wealth and expectations, Ethan took her hand, intertwining their fingers. I want to keep building on this. I want to share my life with you, and I want you to share yours with me. I want to meet your family. Amelia's heart raced at the thought. You want to meet my family? She asked, a mix of excitement and anxiety flooding her. They're very different from us. I know, Ethan replied, his expression earnest. but I want to understand where you come from. I want to see the world through your eyes." Amelia felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. "Okay, let's do it. I'll invite them over for dinner this weekend." As the days passed, Amelia prepared for the dinner with a mix of excitement and nerves. She hadn't introduced anyone to her family since she had started her journey of self-discovery, and she wanted everything to be perfect. On the day of the dinner, Amelia's parents arrived at her apartment, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. "Amelia, dear, we're so glad to see you," her mother said, embracing her tightly. "But we're a bit surprised by this sudden dinner invitation." Amelia took a deep breath, her heart racing. "I have someone special I want you to meet," she said, leading them into the living room where Ethan was waiting. "Mom, Dad, this is Ethan," she introduced, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. Ethan stood up, extending his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you both. Amelia has told me so much about you." Her parents exchanged glances, clearly assessing him. "Nice to meet you, Ethan," her father said, his tone cautious. "What do you do?" "I'm a musician," Ethan replied, his confidence shining through. "I perform at local venues and work on my music full-time." Amelia's parents looked intrigued but skeptical. "And how do you plan to support Amelia?" her mother asked, her protective instincts kicking in. Ethan met her gaze, unflinching. "I believe in pursuing my passion, and I'm committed to building a future with Amelia. I want to support her dreams as well." Amelia felt a surge of pride for Ethan. He was being honest and open, and she knew that was what mattered most. As the dinner progressed, they shared stories and laughter, and Amelia felt a sense of warmth enveloping them. Her parents began to relax, and she could see the connection forming between them and Ethan. After dinner, they moved to the living room for dessert. Amelia's mother leaned in closer to Ethan. "So what do you see in our daughter?" she asked, her tone softening. Ethan smiled, his eyes sparkling with affection. "Amelia is one of the most genuine people I've ever met. She has a passion for life that inspires me every day. I admire her strength and her willingness to embrace who she truly is." Amelia felt her heart swell with love for Ethan. He was being honest and vulnerable, and she knew that her parents could see it too. As the evening came to a close, Amelia's parents expressed their approval. "We're glad to see you happy, Amelia," her father said, his voice filled with warmth. "Ethan, you're welcome in our home anytime." Amelia felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had feared that her parents would disapprove, but their acceptance meant the world to her. After her parents left, Amelia turned to Ethan, her heart racing. "Thank you for being so amazing tonight. I was so nervous, but you handled everything perfectly." Ethan grinned, pulling her into a warm embrace. "I just spoke from the heart. I want to be a part of your life, Amelia, and I'm glad your family sees that." As they stood together, wrapped in each other's arms, Amelia felt a sense of completeness. They had faced their challenges, and now they were ready to embrace the future together. With the approval of her family, Amelia and Ethan embarked on a new chapter in their relationship. They spent more time together, exploring the city, attending local events, and supporting each other's passions. Amelia continued her work in the community, using her artistic talents to help underprivileged children express themselves through art. Ethan, in turn, began to gain recognition for his music, performing at local venues and even collaborating with other artists. One sunny Saturday, they decided to take a trip to a nearby art festival. Amelia was excited to showcase her work and connect with other artists, while Ethan was eager to support her and perform a few songs at the festival. As they arrived, the vibrant atmosphere filled with colors, laughter, and creativity enveloped them. Amelia set up her booth, displaying her paintings and engaging with festival goers. Ethan wandered around taking in the sights and sounds, but he couldn't help but feel proud of Amelia's talent. "Your work is incredible, Amelia," he said, admiring a painting of a sunset over the ocean. "You have such a gift." "Thank you, Ethan," she replied, her cheeks flushing with pride. "It means so much to have your support." As the day went on, Amelia sold several pieces and received positive feedback from attendees. She felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that her art was making a difference. Meanwhile, Ethan prepared for his performance, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. When it was time for him to take the stage, Amelia stood in the front row cheering him on. Ethan strummed his guitar, his voice filling the air with heartfelt melodies. As he sang, he locked eyes with Amelia, and she felt a rush of love and admiration. After his performance, Ethan joined Amelia at her booth, a wide smile on his face. "That was amazing. Thank you for being my biggest fan," he said, wrapping his arms around her. "I'm so proud of you. You were incredible up there," she replied, her heart swelling with joy. As the festival continued, they spent the day exploring the various booths, trying new foods, and enjoying each other's company. They laughed, shared stories, and created memories that would last a lifetime. Later that evening, as the sun began to set, they found a quiet spot overlooking the festival. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, and Amelia felt a sense of peace wash over her. "Ethan, I can't believe how far we've come," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I never thought I could find someone who truly understands me." Ethan took her hand, his gaze steady. "You've shown me what it means to love and be loved. I want to continue this journey with you, wherever it takes us." Amelia felt a rush of warmth at his words. "I want that too. I want to build a life together, one that's filled with love, honesty, and adventure." As they stood together watching the sunset, Amelia realized that she had finally found what she had been searching for all along. True love was not about wealth or status. It was about connection, understanding, and the willingness to be vulnerable. As the months passed, Amelia and Ethan continued to grow together, both personally and as a couple. They faced challenges, but their commitment to honesty and love helped them navigate the ups and downs of life. Amelia's art flourished, and she began to gain recognition in the local art community. Ethan's music career also took off, and he started performing at larger venues, gaining a loyal following. They supported each other's dreams, celebrating each milestone and encouraging one another to reach for the stars. One evening, as they sat on their balcony overlooking the city, Amelia turned to Ethan, her heart full. "I can't believe how much has changed since we first met. I feel like I've finally found my place in the world." Ethan smiled, his eyes shining with love. "You've always had a place in the world, Amelia. You just needed to find it. I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished." Amelia felt a rush of gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." As they shared a tender kiss, Amelia knew that their love was built on a solid foundation of trust and understanding. They had faced their fears and insecurities, and now they were ready to embrace the future together. One day, while walking through the park, Ethan surprised Amelia with a picnic. They spread out a blanket under a large oak tree, enjoying the warmth of the sun and the beauty of nature. "Amelia," Ethan said, his voice serious yet tender, "I've been thinking a lot about our future. I want to take the next step in our relationship." Amelia's heart raced as she looked into Ethan's eyes, a mix of excitement and anticipation flooding her. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan took a deep breath, his expression earnest. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You've changed my world in ways I never thought possible, and I can't imagine my future without you. Amelia, will you marry me?" Time seemed to stand still as Amelia processed his words. A wave of emotions washed over her: joy, love, and disbelief. "Ethan, are you serious?" she asked, her eyes wide with surprise. "Absolutely," he replied, pulling out a small velvet box. He opened it to reveal a simple yet elegant ring, glimmering in the sunlight. "I know we've had our ups and downs, but I believe in us. I believe in our love." Tears filled Amelia's eyes as she looked at the ring, then back at Ethan. "Yes, yes, I will marry you," she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him. Ethan slipped the ring onto her finger, and they shared a passionate kiss, sealing their promise to each other. In that moment, Amelia felt a sense of completeness. She had found true love, and it was everything she had ever dreamed of. As they pulled away, Ethan grinned, his eyes sparkling with happiness. "I can't wait to start this new chapter with you. We'll plan a wedding that reflects our journey together. Amelia nodded, her heart racing with excitement. I want it to be a celebration of our love and everything we've overcome. In the weeks that followed, they began planning their wedding, incorporating elements that represented their unique journey. They chose a beautiful outdoor venue, surrounded by nature, where they could celebrate their love with family and friends. Amelia felt a sense of joy as she worked on the details, from the flowers to the music. She wanted every aspect of the day to reflect their love story, the struggles, the growth, and the ultimate triumph of finding each other. On the day of the wedding, Amelia stood in front of the mirror, her heart racing with anticipation. She wore a simple yet elegant dress that made her feel beautiful and confident. As she looked at her reflection, she couldn't help but think about how far she had come. When the ceremony began, Amelia walked down the aisle, her heart pounding with excitement. Ethan stood at the altar, his eyes filled with love and admiration. As she reached him, they exchanged vows that spoke to their journey, promises of love, honesty, and support. I promise to love you for who you are, to support your dreams, and to stand by your side through every challenge, Ethan said, his voice steady. Amelia felt tears of joy streaming down her cheeks as she replied, I promise to be your partner, to embrace our journey together, and to love you unconditionally. As they exchanged rings and sealed their vows with a kiss, the crowd erupted in applause. Amelia felt a rush of happiness, knowing that they had created a love that was genuine and true. As Amelia and Ethan began their new life together, they wanted to share their story with others, hoping to inspire those who might be struggling to find genuine love. They decided to host a community event to raise awareness about the importance of honesty in relationships and the power of vulnerability. Let's create a space where people can share their stories, Amelia suggested one evening as they sat together, brainstorming ideas. We can invite local artists and musicians to perform, and we can share our journey. Ethan nodded, his eyes lighting up with excitement. That's a great idea. We can also include workshops on communication and building trust in relationships. They began planning the event, reaching out to local organizations and artists to participate. They wanted to create a supportive environment where people could connect, share their experiences, and learn from one another. As the event day approached, Amelia felt a mix of excitement and nerves. She wanted to make a difference in the lives of others, just as Ethan had made a difference in hers. On the day of the event, the community center was filled with laughter, music, and creativity. Amelia and Ethan welcomed guests, sharing their story and encouraging others to open up about their own journeys. During the event, they hosted a panel discussion where they spoke about the importance of honesty in relationships. We've learned that true love is built on trust and vulnerability, Amelia said, her voice steady. It's okay to be imperfect and to make mistakes. What matters is how we choose to grow from those experiences. Ethan added, we want to encourage everyone to embrace their true selves and to seek connections that are genuine. Love is not about perfection. It's about being real with each other and supporting one another through life's challenges. The audience listened intently, and several attendees shared their own stories of love, loss, and redemption. The atmosphere was filled with empathy and understanding, and Amelia felt a sense of fulfillment as she watched people connect and support one another. As the event came to a close, Amelia and Ethan encouraged everyone to take the lessons they had learned and apply them to their own lives. Remember, it's never too late to be honest with yourself and those you love, Amelia said, her heart swelling with hope. Embrace your journey and don't be afraid to seek the love you deserve. Ethan added, we're all in this together. Let's continue to support one another and create a community where love and honesty thrive. As the crowd dispersed, many people approached Amelia and Ethan to express their gratitude. Thank you for sharing your story, one woman said, tears in her eyes. It inspired me to be more open in my own relationship. Amelia smiled, feeling a sense of purpose. That's what it's all about. We're all on our own journeys, and we can learn so much from each other. As they packed up after the event, Ethan turned to Amelia, his eyes filled with admiration. You were incredible today. I'm so proud of you for sharing your story and making a difference. Amelia felt a rush of warmth at his words. I couldn't have done it without you. You've been my rock through everything. They shared a tender kiss, knowing that their love had not only transformed their lives, but had the power to inspire others as well. As Amelia and Ethan embarked on their journey as a married couple, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had faced their challenges, learned from their experiences, and emerged stronger together. Their love story was a testament to the idea that true love is built on honesty, vulnerability, and the willingness to embrace one's true self. With their hearts intertwined in a future filled with promise, they were ready to explore the world together, proving that love, when nurtured with authenticity, can conquer all. This story is a work of fiction and is intended for entertainment purposes only. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. The themes and characters are created to inspire compassion and understanding towards those facing challenges in love and relationships.